From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning and a big week with a lot of major details coming in across the board. And what do you need to know? We'll go over all the major developing details today. What's at issue? Well, we have a major series of events that happened just minutes ago. On the earnings recession, major series of companies missing and getting downgraded. And we also have baking details as the housing industry got a downward guidance. A new report released seconds ago said the housing industry is in a recession. And then the big story, big checks, 7 new stimulus checks and lifetime stimulus checks came out of nowhere right this weekend on a special report of Sunday's 5 o'clock show and 4 o'clock show. While the latest details on those 7 new stimulus checks were released, and they're on top of your raise of your benefits, my goodness, your benefits are going up a lot. We'll look at the raise of your benefits and why they're impacted by inflation, and the latest details on inflation today and what you need to know. Plus, we'll be looking at the latest details on the labor numbers going into Thursday's unemployment claims. I'm projecting 265,000 new jobless claims. A major question mark. We'll have the latest details across the board. Plus, we'll be going over whether inflation has peaked, whether it's not peaked, and what does it mean for your wallet. Step 1, go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP, and stay the big second half because we have lots of new checks today. 7 new checks that became law on Sunday. And then we have the big new lifetime stimulus, and then we have all those incredible checks we've been getting over the last few weeks. Lots of money, and you qualify. Exciting day, exciting week, 7 new checks, lifetime checks, and those returning checks that are in every U.S. state. Boy, it's looking really good. Time to celebrate with some lobster shorts. No, think about it that again. We're not going to celebrate with lobster shorts. But we have a lot of major breaking developing details minutes ago as the housing industry is now in recession. A major report. It's a shocker. We'll have the latest details you need to know in today's recording. And that big money, that big question mark, and the big exciting details. It's a delicious morning's broadcast as the shores of Santa Monica heat up. The toast is toasted, and the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and the deliciousness starts right now on Mornings. And good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's August 15, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Major companies getting downgraded minutes ago as an earnings recession is hitting yet again. We'll have the latest details you need to know in a major week across the board. We'll go over the raise of your benefits. They're going up a lot. And we'll look at those inflationary numbers. Plus, we'll be looking at the labor numbers expected for later this week. And then, of course, we'll be going over not only those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state, but we'll be going over the 7 new checks. 7 new checks. 7 new stimulus checks that heated up a special report on Sunday on this channel as soon as they became law. Boy, folks, we have a big broadcast. I'm excited you're here. And it starts right now. For August 15, 2022, hope you're having a beautiful morning across the board. This is LA live on air from Santa Monica, California. We're going to start first with those earnings guidances. Minutes ago, a series of major corporations got guided downward, and one you know very familiar. They're embedding a risk of recession into the stock today. This is the latest details, a series of major developing details we're working on this morning. It's all breaking news. It's all your money. I'm going to go over all that starting right now. Those major corporations all got downgraded today, and the narrative was the same. A recession. We start today with Postmark stock down slightly up, but Vroom down 3%, JP Morgan downgrade, Revolve down 2%, downgrade from Barclays, Green Plains downgraded as well, from Bank of America down 3%. And then we have Comcast, you know, the cable operator, down 1% as a downgrade from Atlantic Equities. And the stock you know really well, the company you know really well that's getting really badly hit today is Dollar General. Dollar General, that discount store you may shop at or know someone that shops at, it got a downgrade today from BMO Capital Partners that said they're fully embedded in a recession to the price of stock. So the stock is down 1%. They're embedding a recession into the price of Dollar General, folks. That camp one of no recession is looking really abandoned today. Landis O'Connor will go over those two camps. Camp one says there is no recession. Camp two, which I am in, says there's recession. But before you determine that narrative, let's go to the other major story breaking just minutes ago. We knew it was coming all last week. We have been talking about for several days because we had not had the data. And that data came in minutes ago. What industry is it? It's the housing industry. The housing industry taking a major pullback today, and that latest details happening just minutes ago. It's not particularly good. Let's go over the data that came in just seconds ago. The housing industry, we know, has been hurt when the new home starts were down, the existing home starts were down, and the builder confidence was down last month. But minutes ago, breaking news. The National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Housing Market Index was released for the month of July, and their analysts, their chief economist, Robert Dietz, says housing is in a recession. He made it very clear. You can't mince his words. He's very clear. This organization that tracks the housing activity of this economy says housing is in a recession. Tighter monetary policy from the Federal Reserve and persistent elevated construction costs have brought on a housing recession. This is a quote obtained by LA News minutes ago. The data is the following. The index is released monthly, and this is the 8th consecutive month of decline of the index. We've never seen this history of the index ever. It showed a 1-month decline when COVID hit, and then it last showed a negative month back in 2014, but we've never seen 8 consecutive months. Today was that 8th consecutive month. 6 points down this morning to 49 points. Anything below 50 is considered negative. And the quote is, it has brought on a housing recession. The National Association of Home Builders chief economist says housing is in a recession. Got to hear it loud and clear. The data at issue, continuing sales have dropped 7 points to 57. Sales expectations are down 6 months in a row, 2 points down to 47. And buyer traffic fell 5 points to 32. It's very clear, folks. Housing is in a recession. What's the cause of it? Affordability. And also, the interest rates have, while they have stabilized, people cannot afford the home. Total volume of single-family starts, but will post a decline for 2022. The first decline since 2011. And you know what 2011 was? A recession. Another breaking news story we're starting right today, of course, with is supply chain disruption. This is very important because it impacts your money, your benefits, and your monthly checks. Supply chain disruption is getting the product from the manufacturer to you, shipping the product in from the factory to your store. And that was originally why we had inflation, because supply chain disruption was impacted by COVID. And now we're seeing more indication across the board that supply chain disruption could be easing. A new report release obtained by LA News minutes ago, the U.S. freight costs are still up 28% year to date, but they declined 2% last month. Oh, that's good news. So there could be a little bit of easing in getting the products to the store. Jump in the live chat. Do you see more products in the store this month than last month? I do. I recorded that over the weekend. I went to my favorite discount grocery store. It's sort of like a Costco, but smaller here in California. And I went in there, and there's a lot of products I love to buy that they have not had for several months. Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. And the shelves were empty. Month after month, week after week. This weekend, I was in there on Saturday, fully stocked, falling off of the shelves, the items. And they were generally back to the price point that they were before the madness kicked in, with a series of different items that weren't. We'll go over those items in a second. But do you see the shelves getting a little bit more stocked or unstocked? Jump in the live chat. Stocked or unstocked? I'd like to hear your comments across the board. So supply chain disruption could be stabilizing when demand is stabilizing, but the truck shipping prices are up month to month. Really fascinating across the board. But the big story that broke on Sunday, you saw it. if you're a member, you got the member alert, a special 1-hour special report that aired at 4 o'clock Sunday. It's a time zone we never have a show on this channel. It was a special report of 7 new stimulus checks. Yes, 7 new stimulus checks became law on Sunday, passed by Congress, and they're on top of that lifetime stimulus we're going to go over in just a second. 7 new stimulus checks became law on Sunday, and if you're watching the show when it airs live, August 15, 2022, well, guess what? Tonight's newsletter will feature, for the first time ever, these 7 new stimulus checks. What are these 7 new stimulus checks? You saw the broadcast yesterday in that special report, but if you missed it, we're going to cover it again right now. 7 new stimulus checks became a law this Sunday, and they are huge. For purposes of this channel, I'm giving them a lettering system. They're picking up where the last checks left off, and they pick up at the letter E, go all the way to K. Let's go over those 7 stimulus checks right now. Check E is a $7,500 check. Check F is a $4,000 wonderful, wonderful stimulus check. Oh my goodness. Check G is a percentage benefit, 30% off. Check HH is a $2,000 stimulus check. And then check I is $8,000. Check K is, check J, I should say, is $8,000. And check K, the last of the 7 new checks, is $14,000. Incredible. These became law on Sunday. And as soon as they became law, I featured on this channel, and they're featured tonight, for the first time ever, in the membership newsletter. That membership newsletter, starting tonight, August 15th, and continuing every night thereafter, Monday through Friday, will now feature these 7 new checks. Incredible. And that's what we do on this channel. When this broke, this story, it was really not, again, a headline story. It was not a front page story. It was just buried out there. I immediately copied and pasted, took notes on everything in there, made that recording for you so you got the alert. And what happened also? What happened also is the viewers who are always in the live chats, who know to pounce as soon as the check becomes law, because that's what a Purple Hawk does. We're in that live chat and ready to pounce when these checks became law. Incredible. So if you're a member of this channel, get ready for these incredible checks. They'll be featured in the membership newsletter starting tonight. If you're not a member, become a member right now. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, and get these incredible checks across the board. These are in addition to the other checks that are already law. How much? About $100,000. 4 stimulus checks have been law since the month of March, and viewers have been getting them. And we're going to go over those checks in the big second half. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, SSI or SSDI, go get it as well. Done by executive action. It's federal stimulus. It's not from your state. It's not paid from your state. Your state has nothing to do with it. It's from the federal government. And we'll go over all these incredible checks. They're A, B, and C in the big second half. A, B, and C are coming up, those checks in the big second half. We just went over E to K that became a law just yesterday. Incredible, exciting details. Now, in addition to these 7 new checks, we also have a lifetime stimulus. What is this lifetime stimulus? The lifetime stimulus heating up is the raise of your benefits. Lifetime. Huge, massive amounts of money. What is this lifetime stimulus? Where does it come from? And today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to put the stimulus first, and then we'll do the analysis after that, so you understand why we're going over it. It makes it a little bit more clear, I think it does. Put the benefits checks first, and then we'll go over the inflation analysis afterwards, so you understand why I'm even covering the subject matter. Your benefits are going up a lot. How much? Approximately $5,000. Some of you have more, some of you have less. Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail, automatic. You don't have to do it. It's lifetime. Once your benefits go up, they never go down. This lifetime benefits is because inflation has really gone through the roof. Now, let's go back to the inflation, and then we'll go back into the calculation of these benefits in just a second. Inflation's been tracking higher for a while. In spring of last year, I was the only American broadcaster to report that inflation was going to go to 8% in December 2021 and be pervasive, not come down. Federal Reserve at the time said it was going to be 2 or 3%, temporary, and then come back down. It wasn't. And then we went into May of this year, and that's when inflation got really high for supply chain disruption and also because of gasoline. Let's see what happened to that inflation in May and why it impacted you so much. Well, inflation had been tracking higher since last year. And then when we got to May of this year, it went through the roof. 8.6%. Ouch. Then June went to a whopping 9.1%. And with that, we already knew your benefits are going through the roof, astronomically through the roof. But we needed to see July's data, August's data, and September's data. So let's go back to the analysis starting right now. This is for you. So if you're on benefits or about to go on benefits or in multiple benefits, it's for you. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits. Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Automatic, yes. Lifetime, yes. Some of you more than 5,000, some of you less than 5,000. Same percentage raise. Let's go over the calculation starting right now. Why is this happening? So your benefits are tied to something called COLA, Cost of Living Adjustment. It's determined by one number over 3 months. The CPI-W for the month of July released last week, August 10th. The August number released September 10th, and the September number released in October. We had seen this inflation going up, and we knew it was still going up. And we said, hey, it's really high in June. If it stays where it's in June for the month of July, you're really good because that's the first of 3 months of data. We need to keep it staying the same or going higher. And if that happens, your benefits are going up a lot. Why? Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. If they go up this year, they never go down. That's lifetime benefits. And if next year inflation's 2% or something like that, then you get another lift on top of that. Okay, so now let's go back to the data that came in last Wednesday. On August 10th, you tuned in on record numbers to this channel because you knew that was the day that the inflation for the month of July is released. It's released 1 month late. And the data that came in the month of July last week, August 10th, showed that inflation was basically flat. The headline number, the title number, the CPI, 8.5%. It was down, a half a percentage point, but it's basically flat. So we need 2 more months of this basically flat or higher, and your benefits are going to lock in this astronomical raise. Will that happen? Let's do the analysis, you and I, starting right now. While the headline inflationary number of CPI pulled down a little bit this last week, when you look at the component parts, they went up compared to the prior month. So what am I predicting and what should you be looking at to analyze this as well and learning in this recording starting right now? First, the reason why the headline number went down this last week a little bit was because the price of gasoline has pulled down the last 30 days. But analysts and myself all believe that gasoline is not going to stay down. It's going to go back up. Why is that? Number one, in the fall months, gasoline refineries often go offline because of tornadoes and hurricanes. Number two, production's at full capacity right now. It's not going to stay at full capacity. And number three, demand's going to increase, which means there's going to be less supply because when we go into winter months, people need more product. So that is why we believe that gasoline is going to track back higher. It has been moving up in the last few days, 94, 96, 98. Number two, there's a lot of component parts, the remainder of the component parts in that CPI, all went higher last month or were flat. And if you believe they're going to stay flat or go higher again, then it's easy to say, hey, the inflation is going to be flat this next month, or it's going to go higher. What are the component parts? Let's go over those component parts, the parts that make up the number. First, rent. Rent, or also called shelter, is 30% of the consumer price index. And if you believe the landlords are not going to reduce the price of rent, like I don't think they are, then the rent is going to stay where it is and go higher. Landlords do 1-year leases or month to month. They're not going to cut the price of the rent for you. Why? They're doing really well in occupancy. They're renting out their places. They're not going to cut the price of rent. There's a housing shortage. There's a rental shortage. So there's no reason the rent's going to come down. Next, milk, egg, products in the supermarket, the food you buy. They're still up compared to the prior month. July was up compared to the month of June. If you're in live chat, has milk, eggs gone down or gone up? What I've seen this last weekend is that eggs and milk have gone back down to something what they were normalized earlier this year. But a lot of products are still in that wacko zone. You know the wacko zone. Yogurt. What is with yogurt? Yogurt, which is usually, $2 or $3 for, this type of, a pint of yogurt, plain yogurt, nothing, fancy, is $5, $6. What is going on with yogurt? Sirloin, can you come on set, explain this to me? I don't understand what's going on with yogurt. Milk and eggs, I see has come down. Butter, not a lot, but it didn't see butter go through the roof that badly here. And then chicken has come down. Chicken's down like $1.29 a pound, away from that $1.69 or $2 a pound craziness. I don't know about meat because I don't eat that much meat. And fish, we get from the water, so it's not really supply chain disruption. But what have you seen on the food prices? The food prices, according to the CPI, are up month to month. So there's no indication that they're pulling back across the board. With that, when you do that analysis, all that lines up is we don't see that inflation is really coming down. And inflation is not coming down, your benefits are going up a lot. Your benefits are going up a lot. And let's go over the calculation of how much. The Social Security group, the Seniors League, looked at the number that came out last week, 8.5% CPI. And they said if that number stays the same, they're projecting a 10.1% raise of your benefits. 10.1. Am I saying more? I am. I really am saying more because I'm looking at gasoline going up. I'm looking at food going up. I'm looking at shelter rent staying the same or going up. I don't see there's anything in this group that's going down. So I'm not agreeing with the 10.1. I think it's going to go higher. What do you think? Higher or lower? Jump in the live chat. And with that, that's why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. One of the benefits of becoming a member is the membership newsletter. And the other benefit of the membership newsletter is the worksheets. Those incredible worksheets have delivered another success story to another viewer on Saturday. She got 14 months of rent. And no, she's not the same person who got 14 months of rent the day before that. That was a different viewer. So let's go over those incredible worksheets starting right now. First, what are they? And second, where are they? The worksheets are a PDF, a series of 8 pages. Where are they? They're in the newsletter. Open that newsletter. Down around the 4th line is the worksheets. The first line is the price of gasoline, the price of corn, and the price of wheat. And then right after that is the worksheets. It says worksheets. You click the link and you print them out or you download them. What do we know about those worksheets today? Page 1, the inflation. So inflation has peaked for the top line number, the headline number. But when you look at the component parts, the rent, the food, they are not down month to month. They're going up. So there's no indication inflation has peaked. This is the raise of your benefits across the board. This is big news. Recession. So when we have a Dollar General, a Dollar Tree, or a company like that, and they're embedding into the stock a recession, there's a recession. When we have the housing industry saying, we're in a recession, a housing recession, there's a recession. Those two camps of Camp 1 that says no recession and Camp 2 that says there is a recession, like me, Camp 1's looking deserted at the moment. It's looking really deserted, Camp 1. Because how can you say there's no recession if you have all these different parts of the industry being impacted so clearly across the board? We'll have more about this on afternoons at 3 o'clock. Labor. I'm projecting 265,000 jobless claims on Thursday. It's 260. I got that number right. The prior number I got right as well, 230. The prior number before that, 200 I got right. I see this number, the highest level of 2022, and I see it going from 260 to 265 on Thursday. We'll feature it on this show, live on air on Thursday, see if I got it right. Federal Reserve. I'm going to shock some people with this one. I think I said over the weekend, but it was buried. And I say it on afternoons. I'm going to say it very loud and clear right now. And I know I'm going to scare the socks off some people. Federal Reserve next returns in September for an interest rate spike. And they meet every month thereafter all the way to the end of the year. What is Wall Street saying about their projections? Wall Street originally said a week ago 50 basis points in September, and that's the final interest rate spike. They've not embedded the risk of any other interest rate spikes in the market. I said 2 weeks ago, 75 in September, and then after that, I'll think about it, what I thought about it. And this is what I'm saying. I'm now saying the Federal Reserve is going to do 75 basis points in September for an interest rate spike, 75 in October, 75 in November, and 75 in December. Yeah. You may think I'm totally crazy. But save this recording. Let's check back in December. And let's see if I got it right. I'm saying 75 basis point increase in all the FOMC meetings for the rest of this year. And people may think I'm crazy, but when I go out on a limb, I generally have gotten it right. Why am I saying that? The reason I'm saying this is because the Federal Reserve has been trying to get this inflation under control since the start of this year. And they have tried, and they have gotten nowhere with it. They've gotten it down 0.5 basis point, which is really nothing. That's no accomplishment. Their focus is 2%. They say this, they make it very clear, they went into 2%. And 8.5 to 2% is a long way, folks. That is not, you don't like jump from 8.5 to 2 overnight. It's a long way, and you got to hit it really hard. So yeah, I'm saying 75 for every FOMC meeting for the rest of this year. And I got to tell you, Wall Street does not have that risk assessed anywhere. So meaning they are all looking happy and giddy and joyous, and they don't see that as a potential environment. Ooh, yeah, we'll check back on that later this year. Let's go to that second page of the worksheet. New success story. One viewer got 14 months of rent. Congratulations to her. This page here takes new meaning. Let me get it in frame. Takes new meaning today. Why? There's a lot of checks in the newsletter now. You have check A, which is really one check. You have check B. You're going to meet one viewer in 1 second from now who got 80 checks for check B. You have check C, which is all your utilities and your rent. That's about 5 checks per month, times 12 places to reach out to, times the average viewer now is getting about 12 months of these. So that's a lot of checks. I can't even run the math on camera. That's over 100 possible checks. Now you have the 7 new checks. You need the worksheets. You need to keep track of all these checks. It's a lot of different checks. It's a lot of checks. It's no longer 80 checks. It's, it's pushing 100, 200, 300 checks. It's a lot of checks to keep track of and go get. What are the success stories? So one viewer got 14 checks on Saturday for rent. Congratulations to her. Last week, another viewer got 14 months of rent checks. The day after that, the same day, a viewer got 12 months of utility checks. See the narrative? Yeah, if you've been with this channel a while, I originally used to say 3 months of things. And then people started getting 12 months, and I'm like, 12 months? I remember when I was shocked when I heard it. Now people are generally on this channel getting 12 and 14 months of things. So really give that as your focal point. And then Spelly got check A, and then he got check C's, and then that viewer from Florida got 80 to 100 checks. She had applied for check B, but forgot she had. She put on the worksheets, and she got that message from the state of Florida about 2 weeks ago. Said, ma'am, you've been approved for check B. Wow. What's check? Mortgage. Oh, wonderful. 1 month? No. 18 months of mortgage. My goodness, that's tens of thousands of dollars, but it gets better than that. She also applied for her utilities. And if her utilities are 4 checks, then 4 plus the mortgage is 5 checks per month over 18 months, 5 times 18. Yeah, that's 80 checks. That's a lot of checks. And you see what's happening on this channel. There's a lot of different checks on this channel. There's a lot of success stories. That success story should be you. You can do this. You have full ability to do it. Go under this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. And with that, I want to remind you, because I forgot myself, where did the expression Purple Hawk came from? Purple Hawk was an expression that followed a series of other expressions. It was first purple, then it was purple power. Then I said, you need to pounce and get stimulus before other people because it'll run out. You need to pounce like a hawk. Pause. And then I said, oh, like a purple hawk. Pounce like a purple hawk. And get the money before anyone else because the money's not going to be there indefinitely. At least that's what we have to presume. I mean, so far it's still there. But you have to pounce like a purple hawk and get this money before anyone else. Go into this video, join the channel. And in the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks. You deserve them right now. Join this channel. In the big second half, we're going to go over check A, check B, and check C. And see how you can succeed as well. We'll have a preview of today's afternoon show and today's evening show with that big money and that big recessionary debate. It's all heating up as we go in the big second half. See you back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in the big second half of a beautiful Mornings LA. You know, it's one of those days where there are so many things going on. You got to stay on top of all of it. And as the show is airing, I'm wondering if it's even being seen. I just wonder if it's even being seen. I'm getting alerts from the live stream, at least when the show originally aired at 9 o'clock. So in the event that you can't see the show, it's going to air again. So you're going to see it. You're going to see it again and thereafter. I got you covered. Don't worry. So for some reason, the 9 o'clock show did not air at 9 o'clock. You're going to see it again at 10 o'clock. We got it covered. And if it was all fine and if you're in the live chat, you know, sometimes the alerts that I basically see on screen say something and it's wrong. It's like, there's no one around. And then they're all watching you. I thought you weren't here. Wait a second. I was told you weren't here and then you were watching. So I'm giving you an insight to the dramatics of live TV. When you think that there's no one watching and then there's a lot of people just sort of staring at you. It's the funniest thing ever. In this big second half, we're going to go over all those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. So long as audio's running and the video's running, we are good. In this big second half, we're going to go over all those incredible checks. The incredible checks started in the month of March when viewers said, "LA, can you find me some checks?" And I found them. It's two focuses at the time. Big checks so that you survive this recession, and also broad eligibility. And we got it about $100,000 across the board, and you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not, go get it as well. How do you get these incredible checks? Well, you become a member, and we go over those incredible checks starting right now. The very first check is a $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. How do you get it? Step one, go under the video, join the channel. Then go down to the membership newsletter, you find Check A. Click the link, it sends you into the nationwide website. Choose your state, and then go get it. You're not done there yet. You can go to Check B. Check B is a wonderful $15,000 to $80,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. This is the check that the viewer out of Florida got. She cleaned up 80 plus checks. How do you get this incredible check? Go down into the membership newsletter, click the link, and you go in and go get it. Send you to the nationwide website. Pounds. Check B. That is a wonderful $80,000 a check. Check A, that's $12,000. Whoa, we're doing really well. That is $100,000 right there. Let's go get some Check C. Check C is for rent, utilities, mortgage, assisted more. And it's just astronomical. This is the check that 3 viewers got last week, the 14 checks, the 12 checks. It's for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, and more. Now, remember, for Check C, you're going to have 12 places to reach out to, 12 months at least you want to try for, and 5 checks a month. And there's a lot of checks at issue. And let's look at some of the success stories that viewers have gotten for Check C. We've been doing these checks for a long time because of the residue of third stimulus. $20,000 to $30,000 for rent, incredible. Go get some Check C. Let's look at the numbers for utilities. $15,000 for utilities, incredible. Go get some Check C. Mark's brother-in-law getting $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. Combinations of checks, which went $23,000 to $30,000. But Nisi went from $23,000 to $50,000. Here's the market went from 32,000 to 166,000. Here's where he was at 50. He went more at the 100, then he went to 166. And here's Lorraine. She was at 105, and then she went to 155. And, you know, Lorraine and Margaret were pure purple power this weekend because they got the alert on a Sunday that there was a special report of 7 new checks. And they were in that live chat ready to pounce like a hawk, ready to learn what are these 7 new stimulus checks. And you should as well. They're featured in the membership newsletter starting tonight and every membership newsletter every night thereafter, Monday through Friday. Step 1, go to this video, subscribe. Step 2, join the channel. And step 3, hit that little bell at the front of this channel to make sure notifications are set to all on. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. And we're expanding dramatically. This network is now adding 2 new channels, 2 new broadcasting channels, LA2 and LALATE. They're coming very shortly, within potentially this week. Then you have LA.com, the website that started all no less than 20 years ago, featuring now the latest details on your money. LA Live, which you may be watching right now, is now a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week show on LA1. And the 2 new channels will have live shows as well about different subject matters about your money. And the worksheets, of course, are brand new in the last month. There's a lot of great stuff coming to this family. You have been doing so well. You have been pouncing. You have been getting new checks. You've been on top of the situation. And you've been taking the education of this channel and training yourself. If you're in the store today, you're in the store this week, look at the price of egg and the milk and remember it, the brand and the quantity. Because you want to look at it again next time you're in that store to see whether it's flat-toed or whether it's going up. You can gauge inflation better than I can. When you go to check out at Walmart or Target, look at there's less employees when you check out or the same. Because ultimately that's a gauge of whether the layoffs are starting to grow, whether the labor is starting to soften. If you see less mom and pop businesses opening, if you see less vacancy signs or more vacancy signs, this is how you gauge an economy at issue. An economy changing very dramatically. And with that, let's jump right into that recession versus no recession situation. Sometimes when people look at an economy, they do it very simplistic by looking at just one data point, such as the data point of gasoline. Well, gasoline is this and gasoline's that. It's not so simple. Then sometimes people just look at earnings. Well, a few companies missed on earnings. A few companies beat on earnings. It's not that simple as well. Why? When you have a recession, a company like Apple has billions of dollars of cash on hand. It can survive a recession. In fact, a report featured on this channel over the weekend shows that analysts now believe there'll be as many iPhones sold this Christmas as last Christmas. That is not indicative of a recession. But if Apple does sell as many iPhones this Christmas as last year, that doesn't mean you're not in a recession. That just means they have the consumer that will buy the product. That's not indicative of a recession and not indicative of not a recession. That's what's important to really differentiate here. What's important to understand of a recession is that a recession spreads differently, impacts differently, starts and ends differently. It may start on the East Coast and not start on the West Coast like last recession. It may hit the housing market first and the labor market last like the last recession. It may not hurt certain parts of this economy at all and hurt other parts really badly like the last recession. And that ultimately, it's very easy to look at good news and say, there's no recession. That's camp one. It's very easy to look at bad news and say, there's a recession everywhere. That's camp, well, that's not even camp two. That's like, another universe. Ultimately, recession is different than inflation. But here's what you need to know. For many, many years, this economy has had 0 interest rates. And 0 interest rate environment, that environment's gone. Because the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates, raise rates, raise rates. And that businesses are small, that are dependent upon credit, like credit to buy goods or credit for credit card debt, cannot afford runaway interest rates. They just can't, and they will close their doors. Businesses that are big, that can survive that, can survive that. And that ultimately what you need to do is err on caution. Err on caution by getting as much money as you can, by being a part of this family, and growing as part of this family. I'm so excited you're with me. And I'm so excited for what this week has and this day has as well. Brand new shows today coming up throughout the day. A brand new afternoon show at 3 o'clock, a brand new evening show at 5 o'clock, and the live show brand new throughout the day with the latest details on your money. Go under this video and become a member and get those incredible sums of money. Get your family prepared, get your learning to earning, and know what you need to know. Because ultimately, when you know where things are and you know where things are going, you'll be better to prepare for this economy. I look forward to seeing you on the next show. Stay here and stay informed. Stay here and stay throughout the day, and stay with LA for more.